And welcome back to Hannity. Now, it's been a very interesting week in the 2016 presidential race. On the Republican side, you have Senator Ted Cruz. He won the Iowa GOP caucuses, and his war of words with Donald Trump, of course, escalated. On the Democratic side, Hillary, well, I would argue she lost to Bernie Sanders in Iowa, and she struggled to answer many questions during a Democratic town hall and debate. So, who won the week? Joining us now, Fox News contributors Tucker Carlson, Leslie Marshall. All right, who won the week, Leslie? Don't say Hillary, because I'm going to cut you off and cast you into the shadows. Who?
Okay, I can say left and right, right?
Yeah,
on the left, I am a Hillary supporter. However, I think Bernie Sanders won the week, and not because of debates or town hall meetings, because of the number of youth that he had come out and people first time to caucus in Iowa, because of how well he did in Iowa, how well he is doing right now in New Hampshire via the polls, and how much money he raised in a 24-hour period in a grassroots effort. On the right, Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio has definitely raised a lot of money. He's stronger and coming in second in New Hampshire.
But how does the guy, as Trump and Cruz have been complaining, I think with a little bit of justification, Marco came in third. He had a great performance. I think Marco's poll numbers in New Hampshire look good. Nationally, he's doing well. I think he did well. But how does he get how, when you come in third, do you win the week? Because you were expected to come in seventh?
I think he wins that is
he was
part
expected
of it,
to come in third.
No, because I've told you this before, and I'm saying it again. I think Marco Rubio is going to win New Hampshire, and I am a Democrat that doesn't want this guy to win or to be the nominee, because I think he's the toughest for Hillary or Bernie to beat. But I think Marco Rubio's the guy to watch. New Hampshire voters are very different than Iowa voters. They are not the evangelicals. They are more moderate.
Tucker.
They are very different, and I think they're going to go for Rubio.
Same question.
I hate to say it, but I agree with Leslie, but for entirely different reasons. Bernie lost Iowa because of the North Korean coin toss, but he's won the argument. He's completely defined what it is to be a Democrat in 2016. Hillary is not setting the terms of the debate. You saw the debate the other night. He is. She's trying to become the socialist that he's been for 30 years. So he's totally in charge of the Democratic Party right now, amazingly enough. And on the Republican side, I agree with you completely. It must be frustrating for the other candidates to see the man who came in third declared the winner, but he is the winner in this one sense. The donor class has swung behind him, but that's going to become really obvious, I think, if it isn't already. And the conservative establishment, the Republican establishment in Washington has decided he's the only acceptable candidate. So we'll see what the actual voters think of that, but his Iowa performance really did elevate him to that in their eyes.
I think the person that had the worst moment of the week is Hillary. Now, let me tell you why. Go back and remember there was a guy that was supposed to win Iowa, and his name was Howard Dean. And when he lost, he had a meltdown. You may remember this.
Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
Now, at least he was laughing. He was happy. Hillary was not happy with the results. And as our own Ed Henry reported, she was supposed to be introduced by Chelsea and by Bill. Then she comes out in the middle of a Tom Harkin speech. Oh, there she is, not expecting her. No rope line, no introduction, and her Howard Dean moment. Angry, and she shoots all the way to the left. Watch this.
I know we can create more good-paying jobs and raise incomes for hardworking Americans again. I know that we can finish the job of universal health care coverage for every single man, woman, and child. I know we can combat climate change and be the clean energy superpower of the 21st century. I know we can make college affordable and get student debt off the backs of young people.
I think that's a disaster. It's going to come back politically, Tucker, to hurt her in a general election because she sounds more liberal, socialist than Bernie. And the anger issue, she's already not likable.
Well, the whole point of the Hillary candidacy was she's reasonable. She's been around. She's liberal, but she's not crazy. She didn't honeymoon in the Soviet Union. And all of a sudden, she's aping Bernie Sanders because she's weak. They're totally afraid. Bernie Sanders, by the way, raised more money this last week than she did. I don't think he's going to be the nominee, but I'm amazed by how easy it is to rattle Hillary Clinton. She's much more brittle, much more fragile than any of us imagined she was. That's the real lesson, I think.
The fact that you don't see this in the light that I do, Leslie, means that I think you're just not seeing Hillary. 60-some-odd% of Americans don't like her, don't think she's honest and trustworthy. How do you win with that?
Well, if you look at the national polls, and I'm not talking Quinnipiac, who seems to have a love affair with Senator Sanders, she has a very healthy lead over Senator Sanders. And other than Marco Rubio, I think that she would. I think that's what I'm talking about. Quinnipiac. That's the only poll. If you look at Real Clear Politics, which I know you like, Sean, she has a much healthier lead over Bernie.
Just caught up big time
and other than Rubio, she has a chance to beat all the other GOP candidates. You know, it's funny when you say, "I can't believe you don't see this as I see it." I was sitting here thinking the same thing about you, Sean. I don't see that as crazy. I see that as passion. I don't see that as anger.
You don't see any
I see
anger
that
there?
as excitement and rallying the troops. No, I see her being excited, passionate, rallying her troops, rallying her base. That's how I took it as part of her base.
Of a socialist, and she now had to push herself even further to the left, Tucker, and she did it out of frustration because she didn't perform well in Iowa.
Frustration and terror. I mean, Hillary, if you think about it for a second, has only won 2 elections. Both of them were totally inside jobs in an overwhelmingly Democratic state, New York. She lined up support from the people who run the party, and she was sort of guided through Election Day. There's no evidence at all that she's good at this, and every time and by the way, I don't think she's bad at everything, but she's terrible at running for office. She doesn't have deep and firm beliefs, and it's all embarrassingly on display when she tries to run. That's what we're seeing.
You add to that the unlikability factor. When you add to that people feel she's dishonest, a liar, not trustworthy, and you add to that, I think, anger in a speech, and then she's moving real hard left. I don't think that's going to play well in a general election, but Leslie, I'll take your comments on face value, and I know you love her. Thank you guys for being with us. Really appreciate it.
I do.
All right, Super Bowl predictions.